Okay, we are still at Surfaces 2015. I'm with John Simonson, Flooring Web Solutions. Hey, John.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
I noticed the bowl of candy.
Did you like some?
It's a lot lower than when I was by here earlier. Are you eating all of that?
Most of them.
It draws
Take
people.
some home, would you? Because I'm not taking them back to Wisconsin. You notice a lot of green and gold in there?
Well, I noticed the cheeseheads have their heads down.
Yes, right. We
of
won't
late.
talk about that.
We won't. I want to ask you about, now you're basically a developer, and you develop many sites for retailers around the country. Social media has been something that's been talked about. We've talked about it any number of times before. I guess there's more opportunities now than there used to be. More people are talking about it. What's your take? Is it getting to be an effective tool for a floor covering retailer?
Well, there's a lot of social media, different things, hype, that gets dealers to say, wow, I got to join it, Facebook, Twitter, everything, and House and Pinterest. And so they really don't know what to do, but they feel they got to be part of it, so they jump into it. And unfortunately, what is happening is they don't realize that it's not necessarily getting their targeted market. You know, the consumer's ready to, willing, and able to buy is not necessarily using the social media to find out who you are or why to buy from you. There was a Gallup poll that was done earlier this year, I think October, that they did 18 million people. And the survey showed that 92% of the people really did not use social media, Facebook and Twitter, to engage with the retailer or any brand. They used it to talk to their friends and everything. So it's something where flooring's boring when you're not buying flooring, let's face it. And I tell every dealer that, and they all agree. But when you're in the market to buy flooring, then it's when you need to know information and why buy from you versus the others. But it's your website that is the vehicle, is where you're going to engage the customer. That's your major touch point, not the social media. If you look at social media, and I like to use the example of Amazon. If you go on Amazon, you won't find a link to Facebook. You won't find a link to Twitter or any other social media. But if you go to Facebook, you'll see they have like 50 million followers on Facebook. But they use Facebook to drive them back to the website where they can close orders. But not on Facebook, linking from the website Amazon. They don't want to send them to Facebook once they're on the website. They want the social media to send them to their website where they can shop, compare, and make a purchase.
So then all of the efforts that you see, and again, perhaps there are positive topics that one could talk about on social media, such as somebody has had a positive experience at your store, and they say, "Hey, wow, I did with, Simonson floors, and it was great." And is that a positive aspect?
Well, that is a review, and there's nothing better than a review. So a review on Facebook, when somebody goes on their own page and tells all their friends, wow, look at this beautiful flooring I got put in by so-and-so, or they go on a forum and talk about it, or they go on Yelp or any of the review sites where they can leave reviews and they leave a positive review. That adds credibility to the business. So that's great. That's what you really want on social media, is they're raving about you versus you trying to get them to, show your promotions and everything and that, because that gets boring, and they're tired of getting people shoving their sales and brands at them.
So then, and most of the activity that we see retailers doing is not in the review area. It's sending messages of some type or another.
Yeah, and in the social media, it's real easy. It's an easy editor. It's easy in Facebook to be able to post an image and put a little text. And it doesn't cost anything. It's all free. So they think, wow, I can do this. And they do it, but they don't analyze what they're doing. When you look at some of the big brands, the Shaws, the Mohawks, things like that, they're using it much more effectively because they understand, all we're trying to do is build brand here. And that's how they're trying to use it. And then they're trying to make things that go viral, and get across the internet with YouTube or whatever. And also get people talking about it to create what I call, I've said over the years, making more noise. Google loves noise. So the more people are talking about you across the internet with using your name in things, then you're going to do higher on the search engines and everything, and people are going to see it to their friends on their other Facebook pages or whatever, and that's how it all works. It's like the web, it's a big web, and how you connect and how you end up getting the customer to you is about all that talk and noise about you.
So you think really a lot of the activity that's on Facebook and the others put there by floor covering retailers is not that useful?
Absolutely, because they don't understand. You're trying to market to it, and the customer is only in this buying process by flooring so long, and they're not using, and all the surveys are showing it, they're not using social media to determine, am I going to buy from you, or to ask you a question. You're better off having those call to actions on your website when you get them to your website, to get them to engage with you and everything. Like I say, social media, you want to be driving them to your website, where your website is where you can really engage and get them to email you, fill out a form, shop home form, create a in-home visit, or anything.
And you think much of the activity doesn't really do that? It doesn't drive a consumer to their website?
No, because there are things that, and it's always changing. So you never want to say never, never, because, the algorithms are changing. Every day the internet is, coming out with new innovative things. But it's very difficult to use that to really drive that consumer to your store. Blogs are a little different, okay? When you do all those posts on Facebook, what you don't realize is that that's not picked up by the search engine. So every post doesn't show in the Google search results. When you do a post into a blog, that will show up in the search results. So now besides your website showing up in the search results, your blog post can show up in the search results with links back to your website to specific pages. So you're engaging the customer through, more than just your website.
So a blog post, perhaps talking about how to select wood floor or something. That would come up because a consumer is looking, they are in the market, they want to learn about it. That would be one of the things.
Correct. And you want to target it to your geographic area. So if you're talking about hardwood flooring in Calhoun, Georgia, and, then you have a better chance somebody's searching for, how to, let's say, solid versus engineered hardwood flooring. And you mentioned Calhoun, Georgia, and you mentioned your store location, you link to it and everything, you'll have a better chance of coming up in the search results.
Do you think that's a problem with most retailers, the geography part of it? Do they try to whittle it down? Obviously, if you get, a multitude of reaction from something and it's all from some other state that's 800 miles away, that's obviously not going to be very helpful.
Yeah, no one wants people that are on the other side of the country coming to their website. It doesn't do any good. And I often use a couple of examples where there were brands out there that are no longer out there, and the dealer still had the brand listed on his site, and he was the only one. And so the one was Ralph Lauren. Okay, they had that line of Ralph Lauren carpet, and a carpet one dealer I was working with had a page, on Ralph Lauren. He was getting over 100 visits a day to that page. But he's like, I'm not getting any leads. Well, of course. They're coming from all over the country, looking for Ralph Lauren. He was the only one who still had a page up there. So you see what I mean? It just,
so that's like rule number one. With anything to do with the internet is zero it in on your particular area.
Today it is, because Google and everything is got blinders on. They're really trying. They know these consumers are getting more and more sophisticated on their searches, and they know more and more what they want, and they want it fast. So they're looking for, do you have the right text content, the right content on your page, so Google can analyze it and say, I know you're about carpet store in Calhoun, Georgia. Here's a customer typing in, looking for a carpet store in Calhoun, Georgia. Bing, bing, they connect the dots, and so your website comes up.